They do not see that iman, the actions is from al-iman. طيب. Al-irja يتعلق bil-iman. طيب. And this jim, the last jim that the Jahmiyyah have, it is in regard to al-irja. طيب. You heard the letter jim, right? Al-irja. So here al-irja, it is dealing with the issue of al-iman. أليس كذلك؟ نعم. So the حفظه الله تعالى, he mentioned ثلاثة جيمات كلها لا خير فيها. He said all of these three jims, there is no good into it. Because the first jim was what? The jim of Jahm. In regard, yarhamukallah, in regard to يتعلق إسماعيل بالصفات. لأنهم نفوا, لأن الجهمية نفوا كل الصفات مع كل the Jahmiyyah, they negate all the attribute and all the names. Yes, the Jahmiyyah, they negate all the attributes and all the names. That's why they call wal Jahmiyyah ya'buduna adaman.
So the Ash'aris, they get this from the Jahmiyyah.
What's that?
The negation of the meanings of the names, they get this from the Jahmiyyah?
No, Ash'ari, they don't negate the names.
Or the meanings. They negate the meanings, right?
But they don't negate all the meanings.
Okay.
They negate some of the
from
meanings.
The Jahmiyyah as well? Or like?
No, the Jahmiyyah, they negate everything.
Okay.
Huh? They negate everything. The Jahmiyyah, they negate everything. Everything. From the names and the attributes. But Amma the Ash'ari, they negate some of the attributes.
These Jahmiyyah, if they negating all the names and attributes of Allah, who they worship?
Adaman. That's why the ulama, they say Adaman. They worship Adaman, meaning they worship nothing. They worship nothing. They worship, what is nothing in English? They worship nothing, pretty much. They don't have no deity. What is the deity? What is the deity that they worship? If there is no description for the one that you worship, and there is no attribute for the one you worship, that means you are worshiping nothing. He doesn't have no name. He doesn't have no attribute. That means that it doesn't exist. Something might not have a name but have a description. Or you might not know the name or know the description.
Right.
You might not know his name, right? But you see him once or twice. You can at least roughly describe him. Tayyib? But them, they have no description, no name for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is straight up kufr. Yes. Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
You say, if we understand this ayah, we'll get the meaning. Were you referring to the word ayah as these evidence you just gave us?
Say it one more time.
Okay, remember the first one, before you start, you said, if you remember this ayah, you'll understand. When we were talking about this Jahmiyyah.
Oh, yeah, no, I was referring to the jim. No, I was just to make sure that you understand why he said the jimat, the letters jim. Because the jim, whether it is the beginning of the word or it's part of the word. So they call them jimat. So that's why here he's dealing with the issue of the Jabariyya. طيب. He said, وَلِهَذَا قَالَ قَائِلٌ. This is why a person would say, إذا كان كل شيء بمشيئة الله وبكتابته وبكتابة الله فنحن مجبورون على أعمالنا. That's why you hear people say this. If everything is under the will of Allah and it is already being written, then that means that we have been forced and compelled to our actions. That you did not drink this coffee. Allah forced you to drink this coffee. Right? This is what it's meaning. If that everything is being written and everything is under the will of Allah, that means that you were forced to drink this cup of coffee. That Allah forced him to make this coffee. and force you to drink this coffee, and you still want more.
Yep.
I know.
So Allah forced you to marry the wife you have.
So therefore, he mentioned here, rahimahullah, he say, قَوْلٌ لَا يَخْفَى مَا فِيهِ مِنَ الْفَسَادِ. In this statement, there is no doubt that it is a statement that is full of error. That is a statement that is all the way error. لأنه, because إذا كان الإنسان مجبرا وفعل الفعل ثم عذب عليه فهو مظلوم. Because if the person is being compelled to his action to do it, and then he is punished for his action, that means he has been wronged. Right? That's the truth. If the person is being forced to do the action, and he is on the top of that being punished for that, that means that he is being oppressed. ولهذا لو حدث من بشر أن أجبر أحدا على فعل ثم عذب عليه لصاح الناس به. He say, if a person would have come to you and tell you that so and so force him to do this, and then punish him for that, he say the people will rebuke him. The people will tell him, listen, what he has done was not right. How come he forced you to do something and he will sentence you for that? Right? How in the world he will make you do something and then he will sentence you for that? Right?
Yeah.
Let's say, mathalan, the police stop you and put a bag of coke in your car, and then he documented that you were the owner of these drugs, and then the judge sentenced you that you are guilty. Bam, he is going to jail. He's wronged. He's been wronged. Right? So we will say that this individual, they wronged him. The system wronged him. Right? And sometimes you find individual that, barakallahu fikum, been in jail for years and years and years, 20 years or 15 years, and later on reopened their case and found out they were not guilty. Right?
Yeah.
So what we say? They say they have been wrong, and this is why sometimes that you look into that, when you see those cases, that there is some type of retribution. There is some type of compensation in regard to the time that they took from him. So they will, the individual will get, paid or stuff like this, right? So therefore he say, فَكَيْفَ بِالْخَالِقِ يَرْحَمُكَ اللَّهِ. Then how about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jalla? Would he do something like this? Abadan. He say, وَلِذَلِكَ يُعْتَبَرْ هَذَا الْقَوْلِ مِنْ أَبْطَلِ الْأَقْوَالِ. That's why this statement right here, which was the statement? That the is forced and he's been punished. So this is oppression. He says, so therefore this statement is one of the most erroneous statements. The most incorrect statements. So yeah, the most incorrect statements. So the Shafidahullah, he mentioned, or Rahimahullah ma'adhira, Shaykh Salih al-Uthaymin rahimahullah, he mentioned, وَنَحْنُ نَشْعُرُ بِأَنَّنَا لَا نُجْبِرْ عَلَى الْفِعْلِ وَلَا عَلَى التَّرْكِ. That we affirm that neither our actions or our lack of actions were being forced on us. Neither our action or our lack of actions, we affirm that we were not forced to do or not to do. To do or not to do. وَأَنَّنَا نَفْعَلُ كَذَلِكَ بِإِخْتِيَارِنَا التَّامَّةِ. We do actions, but this is under our complete will that we are doing it. The cup of coffee is sitting right here in front of you. You want to take it, drink it. This all result to your will. But we understand that you will only do it by the permission and by the will of Allah. And he say, وَهَذَا سؤال غير وارد على من يسأل هذا السؤال أن يسأل نفسه. Now here is a question that is not presented, but it is everybody that has to ask themselves this question. هل أجبره أحد على أن يسأل هذا السؤال? He said there is a question in you right now that you want to ask. Or perhaps you're asking. Now ask yourself, did anybody force you to ask that question? Right? He say, وَهَذَا سُؤَالٌ غَيْرُ وَارِدَةٌ. There is a question that is not placed. Man yas'alu hadha su'al. The one that asked this question, طيب, or he wanted to ask this question. Is there anyone that forced him to ask this question or not to ask this question? Mathalan, you want to ask a question. Now, is anybody force you to or not to ask this question? The Shaykh rahimahullah, he say, وبهذا التقرير يبطل هذا الاستفهام الحادث والمحدث وهو هل الإنسان مصير أو مخير. Now here is this question that is there, which is the person, the human being, is he independent or is he subjected to a choice? Meaning, is he put in a chain to do it this way, or is he independent for his own choice? Is he being forced to be, is he canalized in something, right? Or is he being given the choice?
Given the choice.
No, the Shaykh is asking this, right? And he said, وَهَذَا سُؤَالٌ غَيْرُ وَارِدٌ. طيب, هذا سؤال غير وارد. وعلى من يسأل هذا السؤال أن يسأل نفسه. And likewise, the individual that have this, that he is not compelled or not to ask this question. Right? In other words, the Shaykh is clarifying, rahimahullah, is clarifying for us that the human being has, barakallahu fikum, what is called a mashi'ah, has a will. Alayhi salatu wassalam. So he mentioned now the other issue, inshallah ta'ala, we will discuss briefly, bi'idhnillah, and then keep it for next week because of the ahamiyah of this issue, is the issue of using the qadr as an argument. Using the qadr as an argument. يحتج بالقدر على فعل المعاصي. Using the qadr as an argument for the evil action that one has committed. مثلا, a person, he was an alcoholic. طيب. Now, does he blame the qadr for being alcoholic or not? Right? Meaning, if I was an alcoholic, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, right, if someone was an alcoholic, then he say, Allah made me an alcoholic. Right? Now, this is this something that how do we go by this issue? Right, or if I didn't wear hijab